Please subscribe, comment, and thumbs up.
Hello everyone, this is Renata. This video is going to be titled How to Get Stronger. And this is for the person in my comment section that said they admire my strength and asked me if I could share how I got strong. This is also going to be, this video is also going to be for the several people who have left comments in my comment section saying that they are so tired that they're just ready to give up. They're ready to check out. They can't take it anymore. So hopefully I can answer questions for all of those people. There were several people just recently who were saying that they want to give up. I want to say first that I can totally relate to that. I can really relate to that feeling of just being tired of it all, just wanting it to stop and everybody turning on you and nothing seeming to work out and losing everything, and it gets very overwhelming. It gets very overwhelming. I have been there. Believe me, I have been there. Just to share a quick story for those of you who have not heard, I share this on my call all the time. But this program, before I knew that I was in a program, it had me to that point of suicide. Now, let me just say, I am not suicidal now, nor have I been since that time, and I believe that's the only time I ever had been suicidal. So what I'm trying to say is this program will take you to some very dark places. Trust me, I've been there. And I don't even believe in suicide. I'm not the type of person that would do something like that. Now I know that that's programming. That's just being totally overwhelmed with it all, not being able to see the light at the end of the tunnel, losing faith, losing hope, everything that they want us to do. Learn helplessness, just feeling like there's just no way anything's going to work out. But I thank God that I did not do it. And for those people who did leave those comments in my comment section, you have to find a reason. You have to find a reason to live. Even though they had me to that point, something, now I know that it was the Lord, was stopping me because I felt that small ray of hope. So you have to find your reason. My reason were my children. One of the reasons, I should say, were my children. I did not, even though at that point I could not explain what was happening. I didn't know. I just knew all this weird stuff was happening in my life. So I didn't know it was a program. I didn't know what the target individual was. But I knew that whatever it was big. It was something big. And I could tell that it was not going to stop anytime soon. And for me, I got to thinking about that, and I didn't want to leave my children to have to deal with it. I did not. I wanted to be there and still want to be here to help them through it, whatever it was. Because remember, at that time, I didn't know what it was. I just knew that it was something serious. Also, my spiritual beliefs have always been that if you commit suicide, you won't make it into heaven. Because I was told as a young child that if you commit suicide, you're dead, so you're not able to repent. And if you don't repent, God won't forgive you. So you're dead, so you can't repent. Now, whether or not that's true, and it may not be, but it saved me from committing suicide. It's one of the things that saved me from committing suicide. So I chose to believe that, and I still choose to believe it. And I think it's something good for all of us to believe, because then we won't do it. Once I got past all of that and I discovered the whole program, I read in a book, and I cannot think of the gentleman's name who wrote the book, but I read in the book that you guys know it was the private investigator David Lawson. David Lawson. He wrote a book, and I believe it was his book that I read, that he infiltrated a perp group or something. And he overheard them say that whenever they can get a targeted individual to go over the edge in any kind of way, to be triggered to the point where they commit a crime, or better yet for them, that they can get their TI to commit suicide, that they have a celebration. They have a party. And whichever perp was able to get that person to go over the edge, they get promoted. Well, that did something for me. That did something for me, and I decided they would never be promoted on my behalf. That will never happen. So, um, I set out to really try to get stronger, because I knew that only the strong would survive this, and I still know that only the strong will survive this, because there's so much coming at us at once. So many people ganging up on one person. And I mean a lot of people, depending on what kind of targeting you get. And then on top of technology, and on top of everything being sabotaged in your life, it is horrific. It's the worst experience I've ever gone through. But somehow I knew, and I still know, that I'm going to survive this, because I just mentioned that those thoughts of suicide that I had. I remember crying out to God, and I remember the Lord clearly saying to me, "Keep your mind strong, and you will survive this." I felt that in my spirit so strong, through all my tears, and me just drowning my pillow with tears that day. Something said to me, "Keep your mind strong, and you will survive this." So I say that to you. Keep your mind strong, because the mind is what they're after. If they get our mind, they have us. It's called mind control. They want to control your mind. And that is why they do everything they do. Every single thing they do is a part of mind control. All the color stalking, all the sabotage, the voices in the head, the pain, everything. It's all to reprogram you from the person God made you into the person that they want you to be. So once I started to understand all of that, I fight it every day. I'm just determined. I'm not gonna ever give in to it. And so I hope someone is encouraged to just trust God through all of this. Excuse me. So going back to the person who asked me how I got strong, I will say, I'll be honest and say I am not strong every day. I am not strong every day. I'm just not. There's a lot going on in my life, just like everyone else's. And every day I'm not strong. But one of the things I learned early on is to fake it until you make it. So a lot of times when I'm appearing strong, I may not necessarily feel so strong, but I try to display confidence anyway, because we can't be out there looking like we're just about to fall apart. We have to look confident. We have to look the part. We have to look like, don't play with me today, because I'm not playing with you. We have to look that way, even if we don't feel that way. So I would suggest that you try to build your confidence. Just fake it. Until it builds, just fake it. Just walk around with your head up, your shoulders back, and just act like you're confident. And eventually you will become confident. If you are afraid, act like you're not afraid. If you're sad, act like you're happy. Fake it until you make it. I think I wrote down all this stuff. I was really trying to to see what information I could give to this person who asked me this question. And so I started to write down all the things I did in the beginning and all the things that I still do. And I'm telling you, it's a lot. It's a lot of work to try to get strong. But a beautiful thing happens. We end up building ourselves up, and you end up really being confident and really being stronger because you're really, really trying. You have to try. You can never buy into the victim mentality. You can't. You just can't buy into it. We're being victimized. Yes, we are. But the mentality says, I'm defeated. We're not defeated unless you want to be defeated. So never buy into that woe is me. I mean, have your pity party if you need to. I do it sometimes too, but come on back from that real quick. Okay? So, I tried to write all these things down, and I'm telling you it's a lot, and I could still be writing. That's how much I do. It's like really a lot that you have to do, and have to do a lot of this stuff on a daily basis just to keep myself going. Okay, so a closer walk with God. I'm going to go through this list really quick, and some of them I'm going to spend a little bit more time on. So definitely you have to build your spiritual life. I know I would not be here without God's grace, His mercy, Holy Spirit guiding me, footsteps being ordered by the Lord, learning how to endure, all of that, discernment, wisdom, courage, all of that comes from God. So I did a lot of praying. I still do a lot of praying. And I don't have to be on my knees to pray. I could be in the midst of a war zone with these people, and I'll send up a prayer. Okay? So prayer is very important. Prayer changes things. I really have learned to try to keep the conflict and the drama down, because I've noticed that they really try to send confrontations my way, because I really try hard not to interact with perpetrators. I don't like their energy because it's demonic. They can hold a whole conversation standing in my face, and if I don't want to open my mouth, I won't. And it happens all the time. If I want to, I will. If I don't, I won't, because I just don't want to deal with them. I'm not the type that's going to play it off and we can hold this conversation. No. I don't want them in my space. I don't want to deal with them. For what? And so I noticed that they like to do a lot of conflicts with me. They really, really, really try to get me to talk and interact with them. And of course, they try to trigger you, and you guys know the drill, all that stuff. So I really try to avoid that as much as possible. I know that when I need to address something, I will. I mean, you guys have seen the videos where they really like to hit me when I go to get my hair cut and stuff like that. So when I need to address something, I will. But other than that, I just rather not talk to them. So I really try to keep the conflict down. One of the most recent confrontations, let's see, what was it? Oh, I was at a department store, and I bought several items. I might have said this on another video. I can't remember, so forgive me if I did. But I bought several items, and I got up to the register, and I realized, oops, I don't think I have enough money in my account. So I stood to the side, and I transferred. I pulled up my bank account on my cell phone. I transferred some money. So I told the lady behind me to go ahead. Go ahead while I do that transaction. So once I finished, I got back in line. The cashier said she refused to serve me, and I'm like, okay, why? And she said, I'm going to take the person behind you because you weren't ready. I said, no, you're going to take me. And so she wanted to go back and forth. I told her we're not going back and forth. That's not going to happen. I'm next. And so she said all kinds of stuff. I don't know what she said because I really didn't care. But she said all sorts of stuff. And so I got ready to leave out of the store, and the sensor thing went off, and so the security guard went through the motions, and he's trying to act like he's trying to find the sensor and everything. So then he tells me to just go ahead, don't worry about the sensor. I said no. So that means anytime we wear this jacket at any store that has a sensor, it's going to go off. He said yes. I said no, that's not going to happen. It's a sensor on this jacket somewhere. Okay, so I asked to speak to a supervisor. Supervisor came. He told the supervisor, no, don't worry about it. Okay, so then I had to go back and forth with him. He's telling the supervisor not to help me. He tells me that he called someone else, another supervisor, to come, which I figured that supervisor must have been in on it. So he told the supervisor that I flagged down, don't worry about it, I have another supervisor coming. So right there I had a red flag. I said, okay, something is up with this. He tells me that the sensors now are built into the clothes. Like I'm some dummy to believe that. He tells me the sensors are built into the clothes, so not to worry about it. So any store I go in, the sensor's going to go off, but don't worry about it because that's how the clothes are made now. He said that's what the supervisor that he called told me to say. It's just unnecessary stuff, you guys, that we have to go through. So I flagged down the same supervisor I tried to flag down before. I said, come and help me because this is not making sense. I'm not going to have a confrontation with this man. I know that there's a sensor somewhere. So I'm looking for the sensors. I couldn't find the sensors. And so long story short, the one that I flagged down, she came back. She looked through the jacket. The chick at the register who refused to serve me, she had put the sensor in the coat pocket. Instead of taking the sensor off and removing it like she was supposed to, she put it in the coat pocket. She knew it. That security guard obviously knew it because they have their little ear things in where they're communicating with each other. It's ridiculous. And I mean, the confrontations go on and on and on. And every time I turn around, there's some kind of confrontation trying to happen. So I'm in tune to that. I'm learning how to deal with that. I'm learning how to deal with triggers, which is so important. You have to know your triggers. You have to know when these people are trying to set you up. This is the kind of stuff they do, and it's constant. In my life, it's constant. So I'm working on that, okay? But just beware of that kind of stuff and try not to buy into it. If you need to address something, address it. Address it means you're calm, you're thinking this out. So you are responding, you're not reacting. When you react to something, you're going off. You're just going off. And I mean, I have days like that too. I had to, oh Lord, I don't even want to say that, but I did. I had to go there with the in-laws, which that never happened before, but all of a sudden that stuff is happening. Okay, so, and I was triggered that day, I have to admit, because it caught me off guard because all these years, and there's been many, this has never happened. So all of a sudden, here we go with the in-law stuff. Okay, so I know how to deal with that now too. But yes, I was triggered. So we get triggered, okay, at times, but that's okay because you know what? We're human. These people are intentionally doing things to us, so we try. We just continue to ask God, help me with this, Lord, because these are setups. These are setups, you guys. We already know they want to get you in one of their systems, okay? Penal system, jail, mental institution, what have you. Try your best not to buy into it, okay? I had to learn that. I really had to learn that. In order to get to keep the triggers down, there's a lot of things that I need to do, and everybody's wired differently, so everybody has to do what they have to do to try to remain calm. For me, you guys already know, it's prayer, it's meditation, it's grounding, it's a lot. It's a lot, okay? Lately, I've been finding something that I truly, truly enjoy. That's another thing on how to get stronger. Do things that you enjoy doing. Think back to some of the things you used to enjoy doing and try them again, okay? Do not give these people all of your attention. That is what they want. There is no magic to this, you guys. There's no magic. I was thinking the other day, God has put everything in this marvelous universe. It's here. It's already here. There's no big bang that's going to happen. It's already here. And a lot of the healing properties I'm finding is in nature. Is right in nature. For me, it's so calming to be around water. Lately, I've been doing plants, gardening. I'm telling you, I'm loving it. It's just so therapeutic. I do not think about those people when I'm doing my plants. You do not have to live in a house. You can get a little plant and do it in your apartment. I'm growing tomatoes. I'm growing cucumbers. I'm doing whatever. Okay. I'm enjoying that. That is so therapeutic. And one day it dawned on me, I used to do that. And I used to love that. I lost all that with this targeting. So I'm getting back to that. There's a lot in nature, you guys. I walked through the farmer's market the other day. It was lovely. It's free. Were the perps there? Yes, they were. They're going to be there. This is how you challenge yourself. You have to constantly challenge yourself, and that's something that I've never really ran from, and that's a challenge. I challenge myself. Some days the challenge doesn't work out, and I have to try it again another day. But do what you want to do. We're giving them too much attention. I'm telling you, we're giving them way too much attention. Let's see. I'm going down my list here. Motivational speakers. I listen to so many motivational speakers. I listen to Les Brown. Oh gosh, what's her name? Someone was just Louise Hay. Gosh, I can't think of the rest of them. Look for some motivation. Whatever motivates you, whoever motivates you, listen to some motivation in the areas that you need. If I needed courage, I'll pull up a TED Talks where someone's talking about courage. Whatever, okay? There are a lot of therapists that have written things online. I've always been into self-help because I've never had a lot of people helping me in my life, even before the targeting. So when the children, when we were in elementary school and middle school, and we went to the library, and we were there to pick out books, and the students were picking out Dr. Seuss. I was over on the self-help aisle trying to, and that's the truth, trying to figure out how to deal with this dysfunctional family I was in. So self-help is very important, especially for the targeted community who, many of us do not trust therapists. Many of us do not trust therapists. But you can help yourself to some therapy. You really can. I know that I'm the type, and again, everybody's wired differently. I know that I'm the type that really needs to process what I'm going through and really needs to talk about things. And I was concerned about that when I found out that I'm going to be dealing with this targeting stuff every day. At least that's the way it appears. I know the Lord's going to work this out somehow, but for now, I've been dealing with this for years, every single day. So before I knew this was a program, I'm thinking it's going to end. But once I found out, so I said, okay, if I'm going to deal with this every day, I'm going to need somebody to talk to. The people around me are not understanding this, or some of them is involved in it. So I decided I'm going to create what I desire. And so that's how my conference call came about. The Lord led me to open up a conference call. And it's been a blessing. And it's some beautiful people that have helped me tremendously. And I hope that I've done the same for them. But they've helped me. It's so helpful for me. So I'm saying, create what you need. I believe that we can. I don't know why we feel so defeated and everything. And I know that they sabotage a lot. They sabotage. Trust me. We were talking about it Sunday on the call. They sabotage just about everything I try to do. But every now and then, something works out, okay? And I'm just not going to quit. I'm going to try my best to get the things that I need, that I feel that I need. And I would suggest that you do the same. Whatever it is that will help you decide what's going to help you to move forward. Be realistic about it, because the thing is, we can control ourselves, but we cannot control these other people. So be realistic. I talked to so many people. Oh, I want this program to stop. Well, I want it to stop too. But right now, I guess that's not happening. So you're going to have to do some kind of workaround to get what you need. If you need a job, you may have to figure out how to create one. You know what I'm saying? I don't have a job right now, but the Lord blessed me with a temporary job. When most people around me, most TIs around me were telling me, don't even look for one. Don't even expect one. Because how they sabotage TIs, once they get you out of your job, most TIs told me that you'll never get another one. But I don't listen to that kind of stuff, because I know that God is working in my favor. It's rough. I'm not making what I used to make. I don't have a permanent job. I don't have the benefits I once had. I don't have the 401k I once had. That's gone, but that's okay, because God's going to take care of me. I believe that. So I have a temporary job for now. I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful. So don't, that brings me to something else. Put yourself around positive people and think positive. Our thoughts become things. Think positive. I really say to myself, I'm telling you, I got so discouraged because I'm used to working. So I got so discouraged when I was off work for a while. I was really, really, really getting discouraged. But then I had to remind myself that things that don't work out, maybe they're not supposed to. Maybe I wasn't supposed to get that job that I really, really wanted, that I know I did pretty well on the interview and I was qualified for. Maybe I wasn't supposed to get that one. Maybe I was supposed to get the one that the Lord blessed me with. You have to change your thinking, and you have to trust, and you have to believe, because God knows what's best for us. He can see in the future. He knows what's best. I'm telling you, I went through so much on that last job. If you guys saw the videos, and the videos don't even tell everything, I went through physical assaults at that job, more than one. So I went through a lot. I went through really, really a lot at that job. So I just trust God that where He has me placed now is where I'm supposed to be for now. And when it's time for me to move on, then He'll move me to the next place. So that's how you have to think. Did I mention gratitude? Yes, gratitude. Gratitude is so big. Thank Him for the small things, the things that you consider so minute. Thank Him for those. If I can walk a block without getting perped, I say, thank you, Jesus. I'm serious. Thank you for the food. Thank you for waking me up. Thank you for not letting me die in my sleep when these people give me sleep paralysis often. Thank you. Thank you for everything. Practice gratitude. It could be worse. Trust me, it can be worse. What else I have down here? Face your fears. Face your fears. I believe in that. I believe in that. But also make sure that when you're facing your fears and you're showing courage, make sure you're safe. Make sure you're safe and you're not doing anything that's going to jeopardize your safety and your well-being. You don't want to be that courageous where you're putting yourself in harm's way. Never do that. But if you were afraid to drive down the street and you just couldn't make yourself do it, so you turned around and went home. I've done that many times, especially in the grocery store. Then when you're feeling a little stronger on a particular day, try it again. And you'll see that you'll be very proud of yourself, and you'll see that, yeah, the perps were there, but it didn't kill you. It didn't kill you, and if it don't kill you, it's going to make you stronger. And that's the truth. I think I already said stand up for yourself. I gave that example of when I was at the store the other day. take life one day at a time. Just be patient with yourself. Trust the process. Just know that you made it through yesterday. You're going to make it through today if it's in God's will. You will. You're going to be okay. You have to really get to a place where you can really think rational and think things through. Instead of feeling defeated about everything, oh my gosh, this is not going to work out, that's going to work out, oh my gosh, I have all these bills, I have to do this, I have to do that, I don't know where I'm going to live, I don't know. Take things one thing at a time. Schedule some time to say, I'm going to sit here and figure this out. I was telling my daughter, there's really an art in learning how to figure things out. And I learned how to figure things out, and I'm not saying that I can figure everything out because I can't, but I've learned the art of figuring a lot of things out. Let's put it like that. And that brings me to something else. Don't run from challenges. Don't run from challenges. Accept challenges as they come and just try to work through them. And now I'm going to go back to figuring things out. I say the challenging and figure things out in the same sentence because the last job that I was on, and the one before that actually, those people would not help me at all. And I would get some very, very, very challenging assignments. Now, on top of all this workplace harassment and all this stalking that I was going through from the minute I walked out the door at 5 something in the morning, and all the road stuff that I was going through and everything, it was just so much. I would just be so stressed out by the time I got to work. I mean, physically ill. They gave me a breakdown, a real breakdown, where I had to take I don't know if I took 3 months or 4 months off work. A serious breakdown, okay? They would not help me with anything. And we're talking a very high demanding environment where there were a lot of deadlines and things had to be turned around really, really quickly. And I could not get help. I could not ask questions. No one would answer them. It was a bad environment. And that's another thing. They create hostile environments for us a lot. And so that's what I was dealing with. Everywhere I went, there was hostility. And I learned. I look back on that experience and I really learned to figure things out. Now, granted, I had to work harder than just about everybody there. I had to figure things out for myself. I would go in at 5 in the morning. Sometimes I would stay till 11 o'clock at night. My children were small at this time. My daughter was always sick. Always sick. So I did some sacrificing just to try to hold on to that job. It was not easy, you guys. But I look back at that experience and I see how much I really, really learned. I learned a lot. My boss was a perp, but I kind of think he was a reluctant perp. Not to give him any excuses, but I kind of think he was a reluctant perp because he would slide in a couple little helpful nuggets and give me a few little allowances sometimes, a few little things, like you could work from home this day and that kind of thing. And that's why I say God's always going to give us favor, because all that I went through, I mean, those people took me through a lot. I was the only one actually able to work from home once a week. And that's why I say back to gratitude. I was so grateful for that. Oh my God, I was so grateful because that broke up the week for me. I had that one day where I didn't have to deal with the perping as bad. Now they would still do, a little bit, but I'm telling you, God will give his people favor. He will. He will. And that day that he gave me off, that was only supposed to last for, I think, a week or two. because something was going on in my life. Some stresses was going on. I can't even remember what, where he allowed me to take a couple weeks, and that went on for almost 10 years. Almost 10 years. He never took that away from me. So you never know who God's going to use, even though I was being perked by him as well. But I was very, very grateful for that. I was so grateful for that. I really was. So don't run from challenges, because a lot of things that I was forced to learn on my own there, it comes in handy now. And that other job, the same thing. I know some advanced computer stuff because I had to learn it, and I had to learn it the hard way. The hard way. So whatever you're going through is for a reason. I truly believe that. I truly, truly, truly believe it. It's so uncomfortable, but in the end you're going to grow, and we have to we have to have some growing pains. We're going to have some growing pains. It's going to happen. Did I say research? Have to do your research. You have to do this program will take you in so many different areas. I was never a researcher. Never a researcher. But this program, when you really, really, really start to research, you realize this is about way more than someone following you. About way more than someone keeping you up at night with some directed energy. It's very satanic. It has some serious satanic roots, and it goes into a bunch of different areas. So I would say definitely make sure you do some serious research. Also, don't spend all your time, but just set aside some time to do your research. But spend time on things you enjoy. I think I said that at the beginning. Spend time on you. Don't give them all your waking hours. They're not worth your time. Make sure you do positive affirmations. What you tell yourself, the self-talk you tell yourself, is very important. As the saying goes, if you think you can, you're right. If you think you can't, you're right. So if you're sitting up there saying nothing's going to work out, you are absolutely right. Nothing's going to work out. If you say, I'm going to really, really try, and I believe that something's going to work out, then something just might work out. Okay? And I also realize that I have to do my part. The Bible says faith without works is dead. So you can have all faith in the world. You're not putting any works behind it, meaning you have to do something. You have to do something. Nothing's coming to you as a TI. Not in my experience. You have to do something. So if you need a job, are you seriously looking for a job? Or are you just saying nothing's going to happen? If you sitting up there hungry, are you doing anything to try to get some food? Are you doing anything to try to pay your bills? Are you doing anything to try to move? Are you doing anything to try to find friends? Are you doing anything to try to get the support you need? Are you seriously putting forth an effort? You have to. You have to. Let's see. I'm reading here. I'm trying to see what I... Okay, I have a note here to myself, and it says, I had to make some decisions that I wasn't going to quit. And it's true. You have to decide that you're not giving up. You're going all the way. And that's a decision I made for myself. That the same day I found out, I did my Google search and found out that I was in the program. I decided no matter what, I'm never gonna stop. I'm never gonna stop. Also, make sure you give back. When you do get to a strong enough place, give back. Find a way to give back to the community, because this is a hurting community. There's a lot going on in this community. We are just, well, you guys know, because you're TIs too. We just really get treated not so nice. So find a way to give back. Let's see, what else do I have written here? Be in touch with your emotions. This is very hurtful. We can be strong as we can be. That's a beautiful thing. God gives us strength. That's beautiful. But we are human, and we're going to feel what we feel. We're going to feel angry. We're going to feel sad. We're going to feel defeated. We're going to feel used and abused and so many other. I promise you, I have felt every emotion known to man. So allow yourself to feel that. I can't tell you how many times I cried. Oh my gosh. A lot. A lot. I used to cry every single morning without fail on my way to work, driving down that dark highway, dreading the fact that I even had to go to that job, knowing what I was going to face when I got there. The fear, the anxiety, all of those emotions. I felt it all. And I would just cry out to the Lord. I would just cry, 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 cry. By the time I got there, my eyes were red and puffy. And that went on for a long time. But I learned to encourage myself. You have to keep yourself encouraged because nobody's encouraging me. So their job is to tear me down, and my job is to build me up. And that's how you have to look at it. It is your job to build yourself up. If you don't like feeling the way you're feeling, because I didn't like feeling sad and depressed all the time. I didn't like that. So I learned to build myself up. And I did it a lot with praise music. Music is so therapeutic. I don't know if you guys like music, but I love music. And listen to some very uplifting music, and that can bring your spirits up. And also, speaking of the perps, they definitely don't like that because I used to, and still do, always have my earbuds in with some music going. And I would just walk down the street singing, just walking down the street singing my praise songs, and I would listen to my praise songs all the way to work in the car. And that helped me. That helped me a lot. It helped me to really just deal with a lot of the emotional stuff. This is emotional abuse, psychological abuse, and it's just sickening. So I mean, but you have to figure out a way to build yourself up. Let's see. I think that is it. I have journaling down here. Oh gosh, I still journal. You can download a notepad onto your cell phone and journal on there so that your cell phone's with you all the time. So you can just write whatever you're feeling, write it down. That helps. And ignoring. I have ignoring down here. I know TIs are so tired of taking the high road and so tired of ignoring. But ignoring really, really, really works for me. I don't know if that works for everybody, but like I said, I don't even want them in my energy field at all. I have to ignore them as best I can. There are some days where I can't ignore them. But when I can, I do. I do. That just work. I don't want to be reactive. I don't want to be constantly responding to everything they do and say, no, no, no. That's taking up too much of my energy that I could be using on me because my energy is very, very limited these days. And I'm just not willing to give it all to them. So those are the main things I do. Oh, activism. Activism. Have to do activism. You have to find a way to do activism. You will be so empowered when you stand up for yourself. You can write letters. You can make phone calls. You can pass out flyers. I go to City Hall and speak down there. There's many ways you can do activism. That is so empowering because you are standing up for you. And you are bringing public awareness to this whole thing. And that is very, very, very important. You got to do that. I think that's all I can think of right now, and I hope that helps. Be encouraged. For those of you who wanna give up, I understand that. I've been there. Oh my gosh, I've been there. But don't give up. Don't give up. Don't give up. You do not um need to kill yourself. You don't need to harm yourself or anyone else due to this demonic program. When the Lord is ready for you, He knows how to come and get you. Don't do it. They are not worth it. They are not worth it. You deserve to live, especially if you have children. And even if you don't have children, find your reason to live. Even if it's what I mentioned from the guy who wrote that book, David Lawson, when he said that they will celebrate if they get you to commit suicide. That's the reason right there not to do it. They don't deserve to celebrate off of you killing yourself. Don't do it. Don't do it. There are better days ahead. God bless and stay strong, everybody.